All right, so we are on our last page of day 8 notes. We are asked to find an equation for g of h of x. So basically, we are just taking the h function and plugging it into the g function. So in the g function, we have 1 minus 2 and then x. This is where I'm replacing the x and I'm supposed to plug in the h function. So I am going to plug in 3 over 2x minus 2. When I do that, I now can simplify and then I'll have an equation. So I've got 1 minus, when I distribute my 2, the 2's are going to cancel, so I have 1 minus 3x. When I distribute the negative 2 times negative 2, I get plus 4. And so the equation that I end up with is negative 3x plus 5. So what this is saying is you're going to take the f function and you're going to plug it into the g. So the g function, again, is going to be 1 minus 2 times my x. So I am replacing the x with my f of x. So my f of x is negative x squared plus 3x minus 5. Then I just go ahead and distribute. So I get negative 2 times negative x squared. It gives me positive 2x squared. This is going to give me a negative 6x and a positive 10. Then I just combine like terms, put things in standard form, and box my answer. So now I'm taking the g function and I'm plugging it into the f. So the f function is negative x squared plus 3 times x minus 5. And everywhere where there was an x, I'm putting in the g function. So 1 minus 2x, 1 minus 2x. So the g function goes in here and here. So again, you need to do PEMDAS. So we need to simplify 1 minus 2x squared is going to be 1. Multiply these two together, you get negative 2x. And then double it, so you get negative 4x. Negative 2x squared is going to be positive 4x squared. Distribute that 3. Bring down that negative 5. Distribute this negative, we get negative 1 plus 4x minus 4x squared. And I'm just bringing down everybody else. Combining like terms, I want to put it in standard form. So negative 4x squared is this one. I've got a 4x and a negative 6x, so that's going to give me a negative 2x. I've got a negative 1 and a 3, which is a 2. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. All right, so we're going to take the g function and plug it into the p. The p says x plus 2 divided by x minus 3. You could have put parentheses. I'm just doing this as another way to remember what you have to replace the x with. Sorry, my lights just went out. And so the g function is 1 minus 2x, 1 minus 2x. Let me turn on the light here. It helps. And so now I'm just simplifying the top. 1 minus 2x plus 2 is negative 2x plus 3 over 1 minus 3 is negative 2, so negative 2x minus 2. Now, from here, there's only one thing that I want you to pay attention to. The fact that they both have negatives right here. I want you to factor out a negative 1 because they both have a negative 2x. So I want you to look and see, if I were to factor out a negative 1 on the top, I would get 2x minus 3. And if I were to factor out a negative 1 on the bottom, I would get 2x plus 2. then you can see that -1 and -1 cancel. So the simplified form is 2x minus 3 over 2x plus 2. All right, so now let's take a look at finding an equation for this stuff right here. I've got -6x times the h of x function. Well, the h of x function is 3 over 2x minus 2 minus the entire f of x function, -x squared plus 3x minus 5. So if I were to distribute -6x, I get, if I were to just go off to the top, I'm going to get -18x squared over 2, which simplifies to -9x squared. So I've got -9x squared. I'm going to distribute -6x minus 2 is positive 12x. So then I'm going to distribute this plus x squared minus 3x plus 5. So -9x squared plus x squared is really going to give me -8x squared. 12x minus 3x is 9x. And it looks like I just have my 5. So this is just anything but just organizing our algebra. Then it says, for what value of x is the f function equal to the g function? So we just set our f function equal to our g function and solve for x. You have a quadratic, so let's set it equal to 0. So negative, we're going to subtract 1, and we're going to add 2x. So that's going to give me -x squared plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. You can factor. You could also divide everything by a negative, which is what I want to do right now. I'm going to divide by a negative. So I get x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Two numbers that multiply to 6 and subtract to 5 would be x minus 3, x minus 2. X is 3, x is 2. All right, last one, g plus p of x. So this is just saying we're going to take the g function and we're going to add it to the p function. The g function is 1 minus 2x plus x plus 2 over x minus 3. This is good algebra review because we need to get common denominators. So what you could do is put this entire quantity over 1, and our common denominator is going to be x minus 3. So this function right here needs to be multiplied by x minus 3. So whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. And remember that you are distributing it to everybody on top. So that's going to give us x times 1 is just going to give us x minus 2x squared minus 3 plus 6x plus x plus 2. Now we just combine our numerators and our like terms. So I've got a negative 2x squared. I've got an x and 6x and another x. So 6x, 7x, 8x. So I took care of that one, took care of that one, took care of that one. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So I've got negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 1 all over x minus 3. Or I can take this negative out, put it off to the side. If it's off to the side, everybody changes up here. That's like factoring out a negative 1. So I would have 2x squared minus 8x plus 1 all over x minus 3. But the negative would be off to the side. Here, the negative is only with the x squared. These two things are equivalent.